Nations. Sport makes some bitches come out and they'll see if Los Angeles, the fight don't stop, it don't stop. New legacy begin. Legacy at top today is mental health. We talk about just different street culture aspects out here in LA. I just thought of something I wanted to touch. I'm not going to touch too much on, but I just thought about something that be going on, transpiring out here in the streets of LA. I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to touch too much on it, but I'm going to bring it up. Yeah, I'm going to talk, like I said, I'm going to talk mental health, streets of LA. I'm going to talk the streets of LA. I'm going to talk about laws, criminal laws in California, because I've been through that, and a little bit more. Probably different little social type of issues, you know, in general, people with their friends and stuff like that. I'm talking about all from experience, what I've accumulated over time from my experience. That's what I'm talking about. So as soon as some people get on here, I'm gonna adjust my Grass Star Nation to subscribe, like if they like what they see, like what I'm talking about, and to don't be stingy, share it live across the nation, so we can get some more people in here to build this community. You know what I'm talking about, on the uprise. Laws, mental health. I'm gonna talk mental health. Protect your mental health. You know what I'm talking about. We all human, man. We all go through stuff. We all have traumas, you know. I can talk about this many different times. I'm gonna at least talk about this once a week. It's important because people be flipping out. They be shooting up schools and stuff, you know, because they got traumas that they ain't fully put underneath control yet, and they got mental issues that they don't want to, be honest about, and that they consider the fact that they need help with. So I'm gonna talk about mental health real quick. We all got anger, right? We all got anger, man. If you don't control your anger, right, you should know what sets you off, what triggers you. You know what I'm talking about? You should know what triggers your anger. If you do some studies about it, it don't take too much knowledge to gain in order to understand what triggers your anger. It's a very important thing to do some research on if you know you got an anger problem. All of us go through it. Some of us learn how to control it, some of us don't. Some of us do things, that's out of control. Eventually, it enables us to be a criminal and lands ourselves in prison. You gotta control your anger. Your anger. If you like what I'm talking about, give me a like, share my live, subscribe if you like what I'm talking about. Anyways, you gotta learn how to, you gotta know your triggers, man, your trigger points. High risk, especially in high risk situations. You're in a situation, right? I don't know, let's say you're in a situation, you get in an argument with a coworker at your job. You don't control your anger, like they say something that triggers you, and you get triggered by a memory, which is presented as a trauma from your past. A similar situation approaches itself in the mind, and you think about flight or fight right at that moment. You gotta learn how to control your anger, especially in them that's a high risk type of situation. Because within a second of a doubt, you can do something, cause yourself to get fired, and even cause yourself to get arrested. It's not even about just being criminal. It's about people, you got to learn how to, we all need help at times, right? It's nothing wrong taking counseling. There's nothing wrong with taking counseling. What's going on, man? What's going on? Everybody need help sometimes. Don't be afraid to get help if you need the help. Because you got to get your anger, if you got anger problems or any other type of problems with your mental that affects your mental state, you got to get help, man. Get some kind of regular counselor, get some kind of regular counseling, once per week or whatever. Even in regular work life, you got to get some counseling because people go through stuff, man. People try to test you, all kind of stuff. You're willing to have a breaking point. You can be good for 10 years. All of a sudden, after 10 years, shit start happening left and right. You just snap out of nowhere. You can just snap just like that. You gotta get the help you need because life, it gets tough, man. As life prolongs, go through certain situations like getting married, having kids. Life can get tough. Changing, rotations of things, different things changing your job or your career. Things can get tough. Things going on with the economy that affects your job. Or it affects your housing situation, whatever the case may be. Life goes on, life changes. You gotta be able to learn how to adapt be able to have the mental strength to be able to endure those obstacles and those challenges in life. That's one thing about adapting to a stronger mental state, going through something, learning from it, and being able to challenge it in a better way and be able to endure it next time that similar situation happens again. That's all about controlling them triggers and finding a better way to resolve them triggers before they blow out of control and land you into a situation you don't really want to be, a messed up situation. Yeah, what's going on, MJ? Study. What's going on, Evanella? What's going on? What's going on, Mass? I'm talking about mental health. Everybody gotta get there. I'm relaying this to my Grass Star Nation to get your mental health in check. I don't want to see people flipping out there in society, going out there, doing dumb stuff, putting everybody in jeopardy because your mental health is not in check. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have problems, issues in my mind too. I did some years, in prison. I was faced with some challenges in my mind because I did so many years in, not a lot of years, but I did some years in prison. And, I had to adjust back to the normalcy of society. And I had some things in my mind that I had to correct. And I'm still somewhat correcting to this day. This is therapeutic to me, bringing this up. I'm not doing this for clout or nothing like that. Yes, I want to grow my channel, yes. But I'm not doing this just based off of clout. This is truthfulness, what I've been through. And I've seen other people been through and it got bad. So I want everybody to take care of their mental health. Because it can get out of control real quick. It can get out of control real quick. You'll take care of your mental health. Know your triggers. Know what triggers you. If you know a certain thing that a person might say to you in a moment that might trigger you, learn how to endure that challenge the next time that same type of situation transpires again. Learn how equip yourself with the tools, so you can be able to endure that traumatized situation if it reoccurs again. Address it, overcome it to the best of your ability. Challenge it in a way, but overcome it. Don't let it bring you down. If that same type of traumatizing situation occurs again in a higher risk type of situation, know your traumas. Know how to resolve. So your traumas don't get out of control and take you over. Because traumas can be very triggered real easily. And then the next thing you know, you land yourself in prison, or you do something that you regret, lose your job, or some dumb stuff that could have been handled in another type of fashion if you just would have controlled your anger and not let your emotions boil over control. Emotions, you can't be successful being a real emotional person, man. It's not about being robotic and then not having no compassion. But if you're really emotional, you make decisions off of emotion, very impulsive, you're not gonna be a successful person. If you got traumas bothering you from the past and you still ain't resolved that, you're not going to be a successful person. Stuff from your childhood or from your earlier years you still haven't corrected yet, got the help you needed, you're not going to be a very successful person. So get that underneath control. Get your traumas in check. Get them underneath control. Get that anger in check. Got anger. Get your mental state in full good health. Do something therapeutic that will help you, enable you to be more mentally strong to preserve your own happiness out of your own will. Do something therapeutic that you enjoy to do that will enable you to be more happier. That's how you can control some of those traumas as well as your anger problems. What hair? My hair? You said what I need to do with my hair? What I need to do with my hair, man? I don't get down like that. I don't get down like that. I like women. I don't play for that team. No disrespect to the GTQ community. I probably said it wrong. My bad. But anyways, but I don't ride for that team. I ride for, I love women. I ain't no player or nothing like that anymore. Used to be somewhat of a player, but yeah, riding on a team of women. What's going on, Luciana? What's going on? Hey, please don't come on here with no weirdo activity, because I have little kids that watch. But I'm not saying that anybody has already condoning that type of behavior. By I have had to correct people in the past, had to kick people off lives in the past. I got little kids watching me and stuff, so please, let's just try to keep our communication levels as decent as possible, man, when we address certain things. Because I have little kids that be addressing me, watching me and stuff in my lives. I don't know what type of communication, appearing on my lives and stuff. I don't get down like that. But anyways, the codes, the laws, and laws in California, very tricky, man. Laws. They have a lot of attempted crimes out here. They have attempted robberies, attempted burglaries. Probably have a certain type of attempted theft crimes, right? The robbery carries a 2-3. The second degree robbery carries a 2-3 and a 5, right? It's real easy to get. California actually has some of the harshest laws when it comes to prior enhancements, right? Convicting people off of priors or strikes, because it's very punishable because it honors the strike system, right? If you have a strike, I didn't mention this before. If you have a strike, you come back and reoffend no matter what crime you reoffended for. If you have a strike, you automatically getting doubled up. That's how harsh the strike statutes are here in California. If you have a strike, you come back and commit a crime, you getting doubled up just because you have a prior strike. It don't matter if it's from 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. If you come back and do any kind of crime, right, you automatically get doubled up just because of that prior strike you have. That's how harsh the California laws are here in California. Anybody can get caught up, man. A regular person get caught up drunk driving, going through a bad day. You know what I mean? You get caught up in that system real quick, just like that. It ain't all about just full-blown criminals getting caught up in the criminal system. People can make mistakes. They can get caught up in the criminal system just like that. We got real harsh sentencing laws out here. They got stuff. They got something called a 5-year enhancement. They got something called a 5-year enhancement, right? That's for certain priors, like serious felony priors, violent felonies, right? Just because a person might have a prior for a similar crime, right, and they go back and reoffend, they don't get slapped with that 5-year enhancement, including the strike. You get doubled up. So you're gonna get the doubled up time from the let's say 2 years, you get doubled up 4 years, and then you'll get that 5-year enhancement from that prior you had. The tricky part about this is, I think, let's just say a theft, right? Let's just say you get arrested for, I don't know, for commercial burglary or something like that, right? That's a theft. Let's say you got a prior from doing a robbery in the past. You can possibly get hit with a 5-year enhancement, get doubled up from that strike from the past, right? Doubled up on your time, even though this is a completely different taste, even though the crime was from like 6-7 years ago. You get doubled up. And you double up your time. So let's say you get the, I don't know, midterm, 3 years, 6 years now. Now you get the 5-year enhancement. That's 11 years. So you got two. Just because it's within the theft category, it's not the same crime, but since it's within the theft category, you get the 5-year enhancement, from your prior. And then you also get the strike, the double up strike. Just because you have a strike, you get your time double up from your same prior. So that's like double jeopardy in a way. I think that still goes on to this day. Dude, what the heck? Do you still on here, dude? I'm not messing with you no more, dude. This freaking idiot, dude. What you do? You still on here? Like, dude, you still on here, dude? This dude keep coming on here and talking about pull up, dude. Dude, stop playing with me, dude. You internet warriors, dude. You internet warriors out here, dude. You gotta understand that, dude. I have a record, man. I'm not gonna be playing with y'all on live, man. I've actually been down that route in that life, man. All this playing and stuff, dude. I'm not gonna do that on live for the police can view and stuff like that. And like I said, I have kids that watch me and stuff. Dude, you're a weirdo, man. You're a weirdo, man. I'm not scared of you one bit. There's not one intimidating bone in my body, dude. I guarantee you that all my life, there's no intimidated bone in my body. On my grandmother, rest in peace, both of them, rest in peace. There's no intimidated bone in my body. That's one thing I don't do. I done been through so much situations, man. This is like clown stuff. This is like troll stuff. Why you getting on here saying that, man? Super curl. Hey, this is all. This is just gel and water, man. This is just gel and water. This ain't no perm and nothing. This is just gel and water. That's on real talk. This is just gel and water. I don't use perm. My hair ain't nappy like that. It's gel and water. But yeah, this dude is a weirdo. Getting on here talking about pull up, dude. Y'all, is that how y'all generation? I know all y'all, Gen Z generation, is not on no weirdo activity like that. But when I was coming up, I'm in my early 30s, man. We was not getting on lives. When we had to handle our situation, I seen people get beat up. I've been in some situations. I lost some squabbles. I done won some squabbles. All that was off camera, dude. There was no telling that, nothing like that. There was none of that, dude. The street life, see, I put that on my title. The street life does not involve the cameras, man. It's just this generation now that, with social media and everything, some of that stuff is viewed online, but the real street life is not meant to be for, the eyes to see online, man. I would never go online and talk about some street activities, something I might have done or whatever, just for the world to see, to tell on myself. I'm not saying I live that lifestyle anymore, but when I was 15, let's say 13, 14 years ago, when I was living in the streets, I was not getting on no phone. We had phones, right? We had some social media, YouTube, but I was not getting on YouTube talking about, yeah, look what I'm doing, look what I'm doing, look what we about to get into. All that was not for the public's eyes to see. Politics and behind the walls is real talk, man. People come up in certain situations, right? They're put in certain situations where they're born in environments where, it's ghetto. Underprivileged, don't have lack certain resources. They're born in the ghetto, right? So they're, they might be put in situations where, they're customized to their environment, and they see like their uncles, whatever, go join gangs, their cousins or whatever are. They get a little older, they go to elementary school, junior high, and they see their friends join gangs, and that's how they get involved, right? And they don't really see. Like they look at it as cool and a way to fit in, and they might be going through little struggles at their household. They might not have a father around, nothing like that, and they might already live in the neighborhood. In the neighborhood, they might, join, and it's kind of like an influence. That's all they see every day. It's nothing but the struggle. They might have to fight to get off the block and all kind of stuff. So it's like they're already in it, right? But there's a way, when you get a little older, go through the little prison system and stuff, jail system. There's a way to rise above that. You always gonna be where you from, wherever you grew up at, you always gonna be right there, consider being from there, whatever. But there's a way to rise above that and branch out when you realize that shit ain't really cool no more, man. Representing the area, representing the block, and people getting, taken out, and people getting taken out, passing away over representing the block and beefing for decades. That's it. And go to prison behind, taking out somebody for life. My uncle, man. My uncle's a good testament for that. He did life. He was hardcore gang banging. He did 28 years. He been out like 2 years, man. He's a good testament. I'm gonna get him on his lives one of these days. He did 28 years, dude. He was hardcore gang banging. 28 years up in there fighting up all kind of stuff. He created programs too when he was on there eventually. When he eventually kind of settled down, kind of got his mind right, created youth programs, troubling youth programs, help people parole, help himself parole. Now he, works with the, like I said, the homeless shelter. He gives away food and stuff like that. He was with the church. He gives away certain stuff at, different events they have with the church. He changed his whole life around. But was a hard gangster at first. Changed his life around. There's a way out. There's a way out. What's going on, man? Jerry Marr. What's going on? Mr. Creek. What's going on, Phil Cosby? Jay Mills, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining. If you like what I'm talking about, give me a like. What y'all gotta understand, right? When y'all come to LA, if y'all not from LA, if you from LA, then you already know. You somewhat know, some of y'all know about the politics in LA. When you come to LA, you got to go to the tourist areas. Don't be hanging out in the ghettos, and unless you know somebody that's in the ghettos, and that's different. Don't be going to Compton, taking pictures at the Compton sign and all that stuff. Don't be going to South Central, taking pictures. And people really living by the street codes. Ain't none of that camera playing in certain areas, man. You get you get your butt knocked on your pockets for stuff like that, or get robbed or whatever. I'm trying to tell y'all something, because the street life, the real street life, is none of that going on in the hoods in LA. You got different gangs. Got different, there's more Crips, obviously. There's more Crips than Bloods. I'm not finna just make a gang something, but I'm trying to bring y'all awareness. There's Southsiders out here, right? The whole different there's all kind of different Southside cliques. There's a lot of different Crips. There's Bloods, but there's not as many as Bloods as Crips, but there's Bloods out here. There's even some gangs out here in Santa Monica and Venice as well. They got the graveyard, gangster Crips out here in Santa Monica. They got a few different places. They got the Venice, I can't even remember the name. Shoreline Crips out there in Venice. They got the Venice 13 out there in Venice Southside cliques. I'm telling you, they got cliques there. We got 18th Street in Hollywood. I forget the exact name of their clique. The 18th Street out there in Hollywood. So you got to understand, you got to know where you at. You got to be aware and know where you at. You might have some young thugs, from these different hoods that are trying to make a name for themselves, and they will rob you. You know what I mean? They looking to come up real quick. They live in that lifestyle. They will rob you. You gotta be careful where you going. Whatever you at, you gotta be careful of where you going, man. For the most part, at the beaches out here in Venice and Santa Monica, yeah, there's a lot of tourists out here. So out here it's cool. It's out here, up and down the beach all day. It's cool. This is real good tourist attraction. In LA, Hollywood, right? You cool, but don't just be getting into it with different people like that. You'll never know who might be affiliated with something. And then everybody don't fight fair on the streets, man. Everybody don't fight fair on the streets. It's, you never know, man. Like, obviously you're gonna defend yourself, right? You're gonna defend yourself, but don't just get into it like don't be quick to to start confrontations. You never know where they'll be from or who they may be affiliated with. Just because they might look squared, they may be squared. That may be a disguise. And they could be from somewhere, and you can get yourself wrapped in a situation real quick, and then you happen to be in somebody's hood, don't even know it. You gotta be careful out here. That's for everybody. The Grass Star Nation. There are some hoods in Hollywood. Hollywood seems like this glamorous place, but they got hoods out there. San Diego got hoods as well. They got Crips and Bloods, and they got Southsiders in San Diego. What's going on, man? Leah, what's going on? Tony, what's going on, Mark? Thanks for joining the channel. Give me a like what I'm talking about. Subscribe. Share the content. Talking about. I'll be here for a little bit longer, y'all. Just a little bit longer. Yeah, but oh shit, I'll be on here a little bit longer, not too much longer. Gotta be careful where you tour at in LA, man. There's a lot of different hoods. You'll be surprised, man. It might seem pretty during the daytime, but it'd be somebody's hood. You wouldn't even know it. Like just Silver Lake, they got hoods in Silver Lake and down, like kind of like outskirts of downtown, Westlake area, down. There's hoods all through there. You know what I mean? That's one thing about Los Angeles, man. It can be like a tourist. It might seem pretty in the daytime, but you can be in so many different hoods out here, man. You never know who hood you might be in. So you got to conduct yourself accordingly and not get yourself, subjected in situations, purposely by being ignorant. Be cautious about, just just watch your back. Just watch how you conduct yourself in certain areas. You don't have to be act all tough and hard and all that all the time. Just watch how you conduct yourself in certain areys, man. Because you never know who hood you might be in. Because even somebody hood getting into somebody, you're not gonna win like that. You just have a bunch of fools run up on you, and it'll be a bad situation, man. It'll be a bad situation. What's going on? How's life out there in Jersey, man? Phil Cosby. How's life in Jersey out there? There's even gangs in downtown, like I said. It's a big homeless epidemic, in downtown. There's always something popping off out there in downtown, man. Every time you turn around, you see some homeless fights or something like that. People, either people, engaged in, some, whatever the case may be. You might be on somebody. There's a couple different hoods, quite a few different hoods in downtown. You gotta be aware about where you at, man. That's the one thing about LA. Yes, it's an entertainment capital of the world, but it's a hood on every corner. There's a hood on every corner, man. Back in my younger days, right, I had to be very aware about who block I was on and stuff like that, because I was getting banged on everywhere. Sometimes I made it out without fighting. Sometimes I had to fight, depending on the circumstances. These days, it's a little bit different. I mean, it's still hoods around, but people are more focused on making money, and the social media has kind of changed the generation. People are on some more money making type of shit, party and stuff like that. We was on that too, but it was a little more gang banging and thugging going on my generation, because we didn't have that many opportunities broadcasts like it is on social media and the internet it is today. So people had, we didn't have that many opportunities like y'all do today on the internet. In a way, back then you kind of had to go outside to make something happen. Today you don't really have to go outside like that. You can work off a line. You know what I mean? Make something happen. Yeah, I believe you, man. New Jersey, there's a lot of crime. I believe you. I believe you, man. Yeah, I believe you. I'm about to hop off here. I think I'm gonna hop back on one more time before I go to work. But like I said, you felt like, what I'm talking about. I'm gonna talk more about this stuff in future references. Subscribe. Also, don't be stingy. Share this live. I think I'm gonna hop on here one more time. But I'm gonna talk more about this stuff in the near future. So make sure you subscribe so you can stay in the loop. Westside for life. Holla back with a banger, real soon. Hop back with another banger real soon. All right, stay in the loop. I'm holla.